really had no clue that I would be so happy to live in Georgia. It really reminds me of my home country versus Florida, where I had to deal with a bunch of crackpots and mentally unstable people from basically all financial status. Here it's like a breath of fresh air. It's clean, it's nice, it's quiet. I have a nice house. In Florida, you want to buy a house for 120, 130,000, you're either going to be like in the middle, like in the worst parts of Florida, or you're going to be in a mobile home if you want your own land. And here, that is not the case. Like, you're home, you're safe. You don't have to deal with like insane laws. Just a new level. Like, I'm so thankful, really thankful that I'm living here compared to like where I used to live, especially Newport Richie, which is pretty much like the butt crack of Florida. It's like, wow. When I moved from Lakeland, like, I'll say that Lakeland, I had a great time, but Lakeland and Orlando has way too much traffic. Tampa's great also, had a great time there, but also very expensive. And it's just hard to get ownership of anything unless you're like paying cash. It's just really hard to own anything out there for a fair price, a decent price, if you're trying to start your life in America. Man, I'm so glad I moved. I'm really, really, really glad I moved. And I'm leaving pretty much every problem I had is left behind. And the people who put me in those problems, like the Florida swindle, Florida con artists, now they have to deal with their own problems because I'm not there to sweep up. I'm not here to clean up. I'm not the cleanup crew anymore. I got my own land. I got my own property. I got my own porch. I got my own garage thing. I have my own plants. Look at my neighbor's house. Look how nice it is. Look how much land he has. And these houses are not that much. They're fixing this one. Look at how clean they are. Look at this tree. Come on, man. You can't compare. I have clean water here. In Florida, I had dirty, stinking water. The only, like, I'll say like Wawa is pretty cool. You know, the beaches sometime, but you end up being in such a grind, either fixing up your busted down property because that's all you can afford, working in traffic, paying toll. You end up like you don't have time to do any activities. I stayed in Florida for 3 years. I went to Disney Springs, but I never went to Disneyland. I never went to Universal. Of course you could say, oh well, that's your choice. You could go, you could do what you want, but I was my living conditions. I just didn't feel like spending money on these things. So unless you have great living conditions, like probably a house over 300,000 and up, you're probably not gonna feel like doing any activities or going like, yeah, I would go to the beach. When my house was fully renovated, the one I had in Lakeland. But the thing is, I have Rottweilers. I had two, now I have one. One of them passed away, but pretty much like I just wanted my own land. And the only thing I could afford with my own land was like a mobile home for almost $100,000. Like, how ridiculous is that? And I'm so glad I'm gone. I'm away from that property. When I came back from Milton and it was all flooded, and for some reason God sent me to Georgia. because I planned on staying, and I was fixing up the property, staying in my RV. I'm like, I'll just ride this. This is like third hurricane. I just stay home, and my mom's like, no, man, you should evacuate. And I went to Georgia and I found this property, and now I live here in this nice, clean neighborhood. I have everything I want, fully renovated, brand new carpets, brand new floors, brand new kitchen. Man, it's a blessing from God.